Hi, welcome to Phantastic Feast. I'm your host, Thuy Phan. Today I will show you how to make a dish that looks really hard to make, but actually in reality is very simple. It is crispy pork, or Heo Quay, and this is something I think everybody grows up going to the butcher and watching them chop it up, but it's something you can make at home. It's cheaper, it's fresh, it's pretty good. So what you need for this is just pork belly, about 2 to 3 pound piece. This slab right here is about 2 pounds. And then you need some 5-spice powder, garlic, salt, sugar, pepper, and then some vinegar. Now vinegar is actually the secret ingredient that makes the skin crispy. So you just have to make sure you can either use vinegar or you can use lemon juice, but I find that the vinegar works pretty well. So once you know how to make this, it's something that you can make really easily at home, and then you won't have to make the trek out to the store again to make it. So let's get started. What I have here is the pork belly. Now this is a really fatty piece of pork because it's where the bacon is made and so forth, and you want to have the skin on obviously so you can get it crispy. This is 2 pounds, but you can get a piece that's about 2 to 3 pounds and that will work just fine. What you want to do is make sure you wash it really well. You want to salt it and then rinse it. But then you also want to take the knife and kind of like scrape the skin so that it gets rid of some of the impurities and so forth, so you have a really clean piece of meat, and I've done that already. You want to pat it dry and make sure it's dry. For this marinade, what you need is 2 teaspoons of 5-spice powder, 2 teaspoons of salt, and then 3 teaspoons of sugar, and then about 3 to 4 cloves of garlic. And you also need about a teaspoon of black pepper. So I'll show you how to make it. You'll need a mortar and pestle for this. And this is a tool that I think is very useful in a lot of ways. You can make a lot of things that will require some elbow grease. So you just combine the ingredients. There's salt, sugar, 5-spice powder. I think the 5-spice powder is what really gives it the nice aromatic flavor. And then you put in your garlic. Your ground black pepper. Okay. Now you want to just ground this up. Just want to make sure that the garlic is smashed. This becomes a little bit of a paste. You can smell the garlic and the 5-spice already. It's always a really great combination. Okay, now you kind of have it pretty mushy and it's kind of pasty like this, and that's what you're looking for. Then I like to just add a little bit of black pepper at the end just to make sure. Okay. So yeah, this is what the paste looks like. It's going to be really good once it seeps into the pork belly and so forth. Okay, so you want to set that aside. And now I will show you how to put the marinade together with the pork belly. So here I have a baking sheet that I lined with foil. It'll make life a little bit easier for cleanup later when you bake and stuff. I have paper towel. What I'll do is just want to pat it dry. Make sure that it's really dry. So transfer this here. So what you want to do is make an incision in the pork belly, but you don't want to cut through to the skin part or the fat. You just want to make it so they're about 1/2 inch thick, so then you can get the marinade in. So okay, you have about 4 slits in here. And now what you want to do is just take your marinade And just make sure you get the sides and the meat, but not the skin. So that's really important because you want the skin to be really dry. So just give it a nice massage. Make sure you get it inside here. Actually, I decided to make this because one of my good friends, he's been begging me. He said, "Oh, can you please show us how to make this? Because I want to learn." And I was like, okay, it's not too hard. So we want to look for things that are easy to make, but that is also delicious. So it's really satisfying to be able to bring dishes that you see at the store home. Okay, so got it pretty well coated. Check this. Okay, pretty good. It's going to be really tasty. Okay. Okay, so now that you have this marinated, what you want to do is turn it over and just wipe it again to make sure that it's really dry. So now that we have the bottom marinated, what you want to do is take a fork and poke little holes on top. This will allow the skin to absorb the vinegar later on when you're baking it, so that it dries it up and it bubbles up and then gets that crispy skin that you're looking for. You just have to be careful. Don't poke it so deep that it'll go into the fat reserves. Just poke the top of it. So. That should be pretty good. So now what you want to do is you want to refrigerate this for at least 4 hours, or overnight is even better, but you want to make sure that it's uncovered, because if you were to put saran wrap on it, moisture would collect and then it would make the skin a little bit wet, and that's the thing that you don't want. You need to make sure that the skin is dry so that it can bubble up and get crispy. So we'll put it in the fridge, marinate, uncover, and then we'll start baking it. So I've had this marinated overnight, and then what you want to do now, the reason why I did the foil is because we're going to make a boat out of it. Not only does it help the baking sheet not get sticky or greasy later when you're baking it, it allows for you to make a boat for this pork belly, so that the fat drips into here and not onto the pan. Okay, so here's the trick to making Heo Quay that is very crispy, and it is very simple. It's just 1 teaspoon of salt and 2 teaspoons of vinegar, and you're going to brush that on top. So I'll show you how to do that. Oops, 1 teaspoon of salt. gonna mix that up. Brush it over the skin. And this will go into the oven at 395 degrees for about 40 to 50 minutes, depending on if your piece is 2 pounds or 3 pounds, but around 40 to 50 minutes. And then once that comes out, then you put it on to broil and then get the skin really crispy. So let's put this in the oven and get our Heo Quay going. Okay, we're just about ready. Nice. Ooh, exciting. All right. Nice and brown and crispy. All right. Okay. Now what we want to do is wait for this to rest for about 10 minutes and then we'll cut it up. But the skin has cracked up and that's the crispy skin that we're looking for. So don't look at the fat renderings because then you know that it's kind of not super healthy, but you know, every now and then you have to enjoy. So we'll let that rest and then we'll cut it. Awesome. Oh, so crispy. Whew. Magic stuff. Do you hear that? Yeah, that's nice and crispy. That's what we're looking for. Yeah. Since you already kind of made the incisions, you kind of know where to cut. Nice. Okay. Nice. Cool. You just made Heo Quay. It's pretty cool. So, see the nice crispy skin, that's what we're looking for. Let me plate this and then we can give it a try. This whole plate for me. Now we're gonna give it a try. I'll look for one with the crispiest skin. Okay. Really flavorful. That crunchiness is really awesome. It feels just like I just went to the Chinese butcher and got that done. Personally, I don't like to eat this chunk of fat, but you can if you like it. But after you eat, you know, so that was really good. Now you could cook this with bánh hỏi or have condiments on the side, but you can also have it as an appetizer. But I just wanted to show you how easy this was. I barely use any fancy ingredients, and this is just like the store and even better. So success. I'm really excited about this. So you can make this at home too. Man, this is pretty awesome. It tastes just like the store and even better because it was so fresh. That marinade is just perfect. And the skin, my favorite part. Yum. That's perfectly crispy. Coming up after the break, I'll show you how to make a really neat breakfast food called Dutch Baby, which is kind of a mix between a pancake and a crepe, and the presentation of it is pretty cool, so stick around for that.